How do we evangelize the world? Good morning. My name is Father Frank Buckley, delighted to be the host of our morning meditation, contemplative and action practice, flourishing during times of uncertainty. This is a three-part program. We began with a little inspiration. This morning, I began with the question, how do we evangelize the world? I would also add in the middle of a pandemic, and we will turn to Mother Teresa in Mary Poplin's book, Finding Calcutta, for an answer to this question. The second part is the most important part of the program. We need a morning practice. We need a contemplative practice. Ignatius invites us to move to being contemplatives in action with the accent on contemplation. I don't know any other way to do that than through prayer and meditation and a morning practice. So we'll sit for 20 minutes in silence, and then I'll ring the bell at the end. I'm seeing Louise Kelly just joined in the room. Let's all wish Louise belated happy birthday. Louise, you're such a beautiful part of our community. And just from the pictures I saw on Facebook, it looked like it was a beautiful celebration. God bless you, and we are so grateful for your life and presence in our community. And then the third part of the morning practice is a Jesuit examen, which St. Ignatius, the founder of the Jesuits, really believed that this was the non-negotiable. The unreflected life is not worth living. And we just look over the last 24 hours. We come from what was central to Jesuit spirituality for Ignatius, this place of gratitude, and notice in the incarnate world, in our everyday, ordinary experience, we are not gods. We are human beings. But in the middle of our existence, the divine shows up. As Gerard Manley Hopkins so beautifully said, God plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs and arms not his own. So let's get going. Thank you again, Susanna Funston. I'm trudging my way through this book, but loving it, using it more as a meditation than a reading, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. And I'm doing a little intervention on myself where I just read one book at a time. I think I have 4 going at once right now. So, but let's focus in Finding Calcutta. How do we evangelize the world? Jesus commanded his disciples 2 kinds of love that summed up the entire 10 commandments. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and the first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. While most people are often comfortable with acknowledging the humanistic second commandment, Jesus was telling us, as Mother was telling me, truly, you will not be able to do the second without the first. Mother Teresa answered her call to love the most unlovable of people. There is no reason to romanticize the poor just because we make the mistake of romanticizing the rich. The people the missionaries serve are difficult, just as you and I are difficult. Yet their needs are more desperate. Just as you and I are difficult, yet their needs are more desperate. The divine love of God working through her drew us. Her ability to love when there was no natural reason for it attracted us to Jesus. We, the missionaries of charity, carry out an offensive of love, of prayer, of sacrifice on behalf of the poorest of the poor. We want to conquer the world through love and thus bring to everyone's heart the love of God and the proof that God loves the world. This is the way Mother and the missionaries of charity evangelize the world. By living out the invincible, incomprehensible, and almost unbearable love of Christ. And Mother Teresa would say again and again, the only way she was able to do this work was through prayer. So let's begin our morning with a meditation. I invite you to take off your shoes, to get comfortable, to give this 20 minutes to God, to turn the gaze inwards, and to make contact with the inner life. I am going to lower the lights and then we'll get started. So one of the ways we flourish is to unplug. This is a great opportunity for us. I have the timer set for 20 minutes. Let me just get to it here. Here we go. I'll ring the bell. We'll take the attention to the breath. We'll listen to the traffic or the external sounds and tune in to sensations in the body. Let's begin.
Gently, gently, gently bring your attention back to the room. If your eyes were closed, go ahead, open the eyes. We can circle the wrists one way, then the other. Shake out anything you've been holding on to. Beautiful job, everyone. We'll now move into our Jesuit Examine, where we just looked over the last 24 hours. Notice where God showed up in beautiful and joyous ways. This is the one space in the morning program where we try to build community. So if you're new to our meditation group, please feel free to say hello, tell us where you're from, maybe someplace in your own personal examine where you encountered the Lord. As I also invite everyone else from the community, wherever you are, to drop, if you feel like it, where God showed up in your life recently
in the last 24 hours. And Ignatius would always say, for this examine, we try to come from a place of gratitude. The recovery world calls it an attitude of gratitude. And speaking of the recovery world, that's where I'll begin. Monday nights at Columbier House in Hollywood, our Jesuit community, we have community night. And on my way home, I got Tom Weston and I had a conversation on the phone, and it was so great to hear from him. And he loved hearing how many of you have responded in the comment box about how great his retreat was this last weekend. Tom I'm a huge fan of his. He does recovery retreats, AA and Al-Anon, and literally all over the world. And it sounds like the last one he did this weekend, he's moved into the Zoom world. The 21st century was really outstanding. So it was great to hear from him. The second thing that kind of went well recently was I really enjoyed the reading this morning about Mother Teresa's suggestion for how to evangelize the world with love. And I think what always captures my heart so much about Mother Teresa is it isn't this lofty resurrection kind of out of the body experience, but her whole theology is so incarnational and grounded in the body and love. Dorothy Day would always say, quote Dostoevsky, love in reality compared to love in dreams is a harsh and dreadful thing, but it is the only answer. And very last thing is a beautiful, cool morning in Hollywood on my morning walk this morning. It's very interesting when the fog comes and the heat lifts a little. I really start to look at the world through different eyes and notice plants and flowers and birds that I normally miss. So that was also really beautiful. So happy Tuesday. Today is going to be a great day. Thank you for helping all of us. No one can do this alone. To build a community with a morning practice, moving towards becoming the persons we would like to become, namely, as Ignatius so beautifully suggested, contemplatives in action. Have a beautiful Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you.